Today I'm going to get the Platinum Trophy for STALKER Clear Sky. It's the second game in the STALKER Legends of the Zone trilogy, and in total it has 44 trophies including the Platinum. Starting things off on Master difficulty, I'm greeted by the intro cutscene, where we see ourselves, the mercenary S.T.A.L.K.E.R, working with a group of scientists. After an mission hits, which kills the scientists and knocks us out, we wake up in the Clear Sky base with Lebedev, the faction leader, and Bean Palev, the scientist, talking about how the mission left us physically unharmed, but our nervous system was damaged by it. After a brief talk with Lebedev, I'm allowed to explore the base, and I get to meet the first of the 4 barmen that I'll need for a trophy, Cold. After having a chat with him, Lebedev requests my assistance with helping a patrol group that's called for aid. He directs me to meet with Suslav, the merchant at the Clear Sky base, who gives me some basic starting equipment, and I get sent on my way into the swamps to assist the patrol. So the first major change within STALKER Clear Sky compared to Shadow of Chernobyl is artifacts. In Clear Sky, artifacts are invisible until you get right next to them, whereas in Shadow of Chernobyl they can be seen from any distance, which means that you have to use a detector in order to locate them. There's other detectors that I can get later in the game which function a lot better than the Echo detector, but for now I'm able to make use of it and collect my first of 25 artifacts which I'll need for a trophy, Jellyfish. I then make my way to the outpost to find all but one of the guys here dead, who tells me to climb up the tower with him to help him fight off the boars. While up here, another mission strikes, which knocks me out again, and I wake back up at the Clear Sky base once more. Here, Lebedev explains a bit more about what the Clear Sky faction does and sets up the main quest of the game. He believes that emissions are occurring more frequently as a result of someone finding their way into the center of the zone, and that the zone is now trying to kill them. So, in order to stabilize the zone, Lebedev tells us to track down this currently unknown person and to stop them by any means necessary. Lebedev also tells me that each time an emission hits, it is slowly killing me, basically leaving me with no choice in helping out Clear Sky if I want to survive. So, I join up with Clear Sky and get introduced to the second major change in STALKER Clear Sky, which is the faction war mechanic. Basically, in a couple different areas of the game, you'll have multiple factions fighting each other, and you can choose to join one of the sides to help them win the faction war, or alternatively you can remain neutral. There's a few trophies that are related to the faction war system, including one requiring me to beat the game without joining any factions other than Clear Sky at the start of the game, and then trophies for helping out a few different factions win their respective war. But luckily there's going to be a way that I can get all the faction trophies in the same playthrough, which I'll show off a bit later. Before I make my way back into the swamps, I climb up these ladders at the back of Suslav's shop in the Clear Sky base, entering this secret room up top to pick up the medical supplies on the shelf, earning my first trophy, Stash Finder. With that out of the way, I head into the swamps to begin assisting Clear Sky with the faction war. The main mission is to secure the road to the Cordon area, but there's also a few smaller objectives like attacking various outposts that are occupied by renegades in the area, or helping Clear Sky defend outposts held by them. Something I quickly noticed is just how much better the shooting mechanics are in Clear Sky compared to Shadow of Chernobyl. Overall, combat did feel just so much better in Clear Sky, with a lot less jank involved with shooting especially. And it's really noticeable in the early game where I'm mainly relying on a pistol and a shotgun for every encounter. While in the swamps, in between assisting Clear Sky in the faction war, I end up making my way to the northwestern corner of the map to find this hidden room underneath a train car, which contains a gravity artifact, which increases my carry weight limit, which is a super helpful artifact to have for the game. But more important than that, I find the Veles detector, which gives me the trophy Decent Start. The Veles detector is a massive improvement over the Echo detector that you start the game with, as this one gives you a screen with a radar of where artifacts are located within anomalies, making it far easier to acquire the many artifacts I'll need throughout the game. A little while later, I was clearing out a renegade outpost and earned the trophy Stalker Strike for killing 50 enemies with a headshot. And then not terribly long after that, I cleared out the final outpost, earning me the trophy Swamp Lord for clearing the swamp of renegades. I then went around trying to find more artifacts and picking up items from stashes. Along the way, I was able to earn the trophy Taxi for using guides 10 times, and I was also able to earn the trophy Overloaded but not Overcame for traveling 10 kilometers while exceeding the carry weight limit. Something important to note about this trophy is that distance traveled while using the guide service does count for this trophy, which made things a lot easier than having to manually walk 10 kilometers. There's 2 trophies that I'm focused on getting progress towards before I leave the swamp for the cordon. These are Modifier, which requires me to find 18 flash drives throughout the game with schematics on upgrading guns and gear, and Gun Baron, which requires me to find all 9 unique weapons in the game. The swamps area itself has 2 guns and 3 flash drives that can be obtained, which brings me to the first problem I encountered in Clear Sky. One of the guns needed for the Gun Baron trophy is a modified PM pistol. This pistol has a chance at dropping from renegades in the swamps at random, but luckily there is a bypass where you can go to a technician and apply the upgrades you see on screen now, which will count as being the unique weapon. The bigger issue though is the flash drives. 2 of the 3 that you can locate in the swamps come from completing tasks, whereas the third comes from stash information you can purchase off of the barkeep. The issue I faced is the task Help Clear Sky strengthen their positions, which should award you with a flash drive needed for the trophy, did not award me the flash drive. And I didn't notice this until it was far too late for me to load an earlier save, meaning this trophy is now technically unobtainable in this playthrough. So, with a heavy heart, I restarted the game on Master difficulty once again for the difficulty related trophies, and proceeded to begin redoing everything I had already in the swamps area. I picked up Scar's Fintar BC, which is the other unique weapon, ended up completing the tasks I needed to get the 3 different flash drives within the area, modified the PM pistol, and along the way, I happened to get the Gunsmith trophy for fully modifying 5 weapons in the game. With that annoying detour out of the way, I'm free to enter the next area of the game, the cordon. As soon as I enter, I'm approaching a military checkpoint, which has a machine gunner on a PKM light machine gun, who can kill me in about half a second. After around a dozen or so deaths of me trying different strategies to deal with the machine gunner, I made friends with this rock and took multiple pot shots at the machine gunner, killing him finally, earning me the trophy Avenger. I'm not out of the weeds yet though, as the military outpost is staffed by over 20 soldiers who are highly trained and well equipped, with some of the better weapons in the game, especially given the current gear that I have right now. So around another 30 or so deaths of me constantly fighting my way through, slowly whittling down their numbers, I was able to clear the outpost. This gave me a chance to loot all of the dead soldiers, getting their highly valuable weapons, which I can sell to a trader, which also happens to give me my next trophy, New Old Friend. I then made my way through the cordon area, finding the Stalker base, and meeting the second of 7 technicians in the game, Van. While here, I also spoke with the faction leader, Father Valerian, who I agreed to help out against the military in exchange for information on the stalkers at the center of the zone. It's important to note that doing tasks for the faction leader like this, or for members of a faction, does not count as joining the faction. As long as you don't ask the faction leader themselves to join the faction, you won't ruin your ability to get the neutrality trophy. In between helping out the stalkers, I end up meeting this soldier underneath the bridge, Semyon Lampy. He gives me a task to recover a PDA off of a dead soldier and to return it to him, which, doing so, awards me the AWOL trophy. Before I leave the cordon and move on to the next area, I acquire the 3 flash drives in the area for Van, and also assist stalkers with some retrieval tasks. One of the tasks I get is to acquire the trophy AKM 47/2. This will be my 3rd unique weapon which I need for the Gun Baron task. Something very important to note is that you can only receive these tasks to retrieve items like unique weapons if you've completed all retrieval tasks within the previous zone. So this means that you need to complete all these tasks in the swamp before proceeding to the cordon, and then all tasks in cordon before going into the garbage, and so on. Speaking of the garbage, as soon as I enter, I get held up by some bandits who take all of my money. Unfortunately, as much as I'd like to kill them all, I have to do this because I'm trying to remain neutral with their faction as well. So I let them take my money and watch as some stalkers show up and start fighting with the bandits, which as soon as all the stalkers are killed gives me a chance to loot their corpses and at least recover a little bit of the money that I just got shaken down for. I made my way to the bandit base in the garbage and met my third technician Limpid and second barman Borov. Then I proceeded forward with the main quest, finding this stalker named Vasyan on this rock being swarmed by a pack of dogs. After I killed off all the dogs and saved Vasyan, I earned the trophy, the Savior. He gave me information on the stalker Fang, which, if you remember from Shadow of Chernobyl, he's one of the two stalkers that was working with S.T.A.L.K.E.R, since Clear Sky is actually a prequel to Shadow of Chernobyl's events. Before I make my way into the Dark Valley though, I decide to quickly pick up another trophy by dying to 5 separate anomalies for the trophy Mock of a Stalker. I also took a quick pit stop at the Stalker encampment in the garbage and spoke with Garen, the technician, who is the 4th out of 7 technicians I need to talk with in order to get a trophy. Finally moving on into the Dark Valley, I make my way to the Freedom Base and end up speaking with Yar, another technician in the game, as well as Ganja, the 3rd out of 4 barmen. I also begin assisting the Freedom faction, which their questline involves a commandant is secretly feeding information to a mercenary group, which is trying to kill off the Freedom members. After I speak with the faction leader Chekhov of Freedom, one of the tasks he gives me is to attack a base occupied by mercenaries to destroy their access point into the Dark Valley. The assault on the factory is a pretty difficult challenge, as you're dealing with well over 20 hostiles equipped with really powerful weapons and armor. But just like every other encounter in the game, I take things slow, making use of cover and trying to take headshots on hostiles, and slowly work my way through the factory. Along the way, I happen to get the Explosions Magnet trophy, which requires you to die to grenades 20 times in total. And then, as I killed the last remaining mercenaries in the factory, I also earned the trophy Friend for an Hour. Now, it's really important to note that this trophy does not require you to join any faction. You can instead just get it by performing tasks for the different squad commanders, like retrieving items, or assisting them in defending an outpost from mutants, or capturing outposts that are occupied by mutants. Since I already had maxed out reputation with Clear Sky and the Free Stalkers, and once you complete the Factory Assault quest for Freedom, you get maximum reputation, that's why this trophy popped. I went ahead and did some more cleanup within the Dark Valley, collecting artifacts as well as the various flash drives in the region, and then proceeded back to the garbage to get my next trophy and continue the main quest. So as you see, I'm dumping all of my equipment into this little stash at the Stalker encampment in the garbage, and that's because for the next trophy, you need to enter the basement with nothing in your inventory. As a helpful note, you will also lose all the money that you have on you, so it's best to spend it all on various ammo, weapons, first aid, whatever you need. As soon as my inventory is empty, I head down into the basement, getting ambushed by some bandits and triggering a cutscene, which gives me the trophy in socks alone. Normally, if you had equipment on you, you'd receive a task to go pick back up your equipment, but since I had nothing on me, this doesn't really matter since there's nothing to retrieve. So I proceed forward to the Agroprom Research Institute for the next part of the main quest. As I come up to the duty base, I quickly make my way to the barman Kolobok and speak with him to earn the trophy Pub Crawl for interacting with all the barmen in the game. Next up, I have a quick chat with the technician Thunderov, which brings me to 6 out of 7 technicians in the game. And then I go and speak with General Krylov, who asks for my assistance with going underground and flooding it to deal with the Duty's mutant problem. Before I make my way to the underground though, I quickly head over to the Stalker base within the Agroprom area and speak with my 7th technician Idar for the trophy, Who Are You Without a Duct Tape? I then made my way to the underground and turned on the water to kill all the mutants within. Doing so earns me the trophy Genesis Flood. So that's one thing that I really do like about Clear Sky compared to Shadow of Chernobyl, is just how much better the quests are as a whole. Especially with the main story, there's a lot more variety in terms of what you're doing for the quests. I recover the info from the underground about S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and am told to head to Yantar next. Before I do that though, I head over to the Stalker base in Agroprom and head into this little underground bunker to speak with Hermit, who asks me to retrieve a PDA for him. As soon as I return with the PDA, I earn the trophy Know Thyself. He also gives me one of the last remaining flash drives that I need, which leads me to head to a stash and collect the 18th one for the trophy Modifier. Before I proceed forward into Yantar, I decided I should knock out the faction war related trophies. Starting off by going to the Stalker base in the Cordon, I drop a couple of manual saves before speaking with Father Valerian and ask to join his faction. As soon as I do, I earn the trophy One of Us for joining any faction after leaving the swamps. In order to win the faction war for the Stalker side, I need to secure the bandit base within the garbage. This was actually a pretty easy fight, especially after fighting mercenaries at the factory, since the bandits are equipped mostly with submachine guns or shotguns rather than assault rifles. So after killing off all of the various bandits at the outpost, I kill the final one and earn the trophy Garbage Hegemon for helping either the Stalkers or bandits win. I then reload my save file from before joining the Stalker faction and head back to the Duty base. Taking a quick detour in this building filled with taxidermied mutants, I end up spotting this guitar behind the couch and pick it up, earning the trophy Life of the Party. I then go to General Krylov and, just like before, drop a couple manual saves and agree to join the Duty faction. To win this faction war, I have to take out the Freedom base in the Dark Valley, which was definitely a lot harder than killing the bandits in their base, but after a couple of attempts, I was able to clear it out, earning me the trophy, The Question of Ideology, for assisting either Freedom or Duty in winning their faction war. Moving into Yantar, I meet up with Professor Sakharov, who asks for my assistance in disabling some of the psi emissions that are affecting the area, which will open up the path to the Red Forest, which is where S.T.A.L.K.E.R and his group went. In order to do this, we have to re-enable some cooling systems for an underground facility, which in order to do so, means I have to defend this group of stalkers who are turning back on all of the cooling systems from a nearby rooftop. After a couple minutes of defending the stalkers from waves of zombies, we're successful and the way to the Red Forest is now cleared with the psi emission turned off. Heading into the Red Forest, I'm right on S.T.A.L.K.E.'s tail, which I quickly give chase to him, but after a bit of an ambush, he's able to escape into the city of Limansk, which I'm currently unable to access. Lebedev tells me to meet up with a man named the Forester, who believes he'll have a way to get into the city of Limansk, though. While on my way to Forester, I ended up consuming my 100th energy drink, earning the trophy Pseudo Flash. And then shortly thereafter, I equipped 3 artifacts which increased my carry weight by a total of 60 kilograms for the trophy I Am a Machine. While in the Red Forest, I also received the task to return the tank machine gun, which is the final unique weapon in the game that I needed to, and as soon as I pick it up, I earn the trophy Gun Baron. I then finally meet up with Forrester, who tells me that I need to head to the army warehouses next in order to get information about accessing Limansk. So I make my way into the area and discover another opportunity for a trophy. Climbing to the top of this tower to listen to the distress signal earns me the trophy To Those Who Hear Us. I then return to the Forester and return the compass artifact that he requested in order to help out the mercenary group who were on the distress call, and as soon as I return the artifact to him, I earn the trophy Junior Forester. I then made my way to the military base in the Army Warehouses region, and helped clear it out to gain access to the antenna to get in touch with the mercenary group and get them out of the anomaly as part of the main quest of the game. After helping free the mercenary group, I end up getting the task to recover the meat chunk artifact, which is the final artifact that I need to collect for a trophy. One part that I find incredibly annoying about STALKER Clear Sky is the way artifacts get spawned in. Basically, there are set spawn points on each area of the game where an artifact will spawn, but it's a random chance of which one it will be. So for example, in the swamps at the 2 electrical anomalies, you'll either get the flash artifact or the sparkler artifact will spawn in. The issue with this is that it's entirely possible during a playthrough you will fail to get all 25 artifacts due to RNG screwing you over, which actually happened to me in this playthrough. In my case, at all the possible locations where it could spawn, meat chunk did not spawn, and instead I got a different artifact, meaning the trophy would be unobtainable if not for the fact that there is a task in the game to recover a meat chunk artifact. Supposedly, artifacts are supposed to respawn after 4 hours of playtime. However, I went back to the swamps towards the end of this playthrough, and not a single artifact had respawned, so I don't know how accurate that info is. All that being said though, I quickly rushed into this hut, not caring about living or dying, and picked up the meat chunk artifact, giving me the trophies Meat Constructor for finding all meat artifacts in the game, and Artifact Sommelier for collecting all 25 artifacts in the game. Before I head into Limansk, which is the point of no return in Clear Sky, I knock out the last 2 remaining trophies that I need to, which both involve selling things. I then went back to my good pal Sakharov, made a save file, and sold all the artifacts in my inventory for the trophy Dragon Cell, and then quickly reloaded my save and did it again for the trophy All the Money in the Zone for selling 250,000 currency worth of goods. At this point, the only trophies left in the game all take place in the city of Limansk, so I make my way back to the Red Forest and help the Clear Sky forces take out the bandits, and the mercenary group that we helped out earlier lower the bridge, giving us access to Limansk. As soon as I enter the city, I earn the trophy, the Lost City. Overall, Limansk is really fun to go through. You're fighting against monolith soldiers who have the best gear in the game the whole time. Shortly after entering, I end up reaching this square that's filled with dead bodies, and there's a door in this building that I can open leading down into a basement. Using a grenade, I can blow away some crates that are blocking a door, gaining access, and finding the secret time machine within for the trophy Relics of the Past. I work my way through the rest of Limansk, making it to the hospital, where you have to fight a helicopter that was sent by the military, which is a pretty annoying boss fight honestly, since the thing is just a bullet sponge and it can kill you in about half a second if it sees you. I got kind of lucky in that I was able to use one of these destroyed walls to get a pretty good angle on the thing, allowing me to poke out and just unload magazines into it. And eventually, as I killed it, I earned the trophy Boss Helicopter for destroying the heli at the hospital. With the helicopter out of the way, I push through the rest of the hospital, leading to the final area of the game, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, which as soon as I enter, I earn the trophy, the True Stalker, for visiting every in-game location. This now only leaves the final boss fight against S.T.A.L.K.E.R. We're in the area of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, and are given a railgun by Lebedev to shoot S.T.A.L.K.E.R, who's surrounded by a psi protection field. In between shooting him, I have to fight off monolith soldiers and move through portals to get an angle on S.T.A.L.K.E.R. This fight is really annoying to deal with, especially on master difficulty, due to how many monolith troops are in the area. I work my way through the fight, getting some damage off on S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and then something a little unexpected happens. I don't really know what happened towards the end of the fight, because I ended up going through a portal and got an angle on S.T.A.L.K.E.R, who was just standing still shooting at Clear Sky forces, which allowed me to mag dump him with the railgun. It's pretty hard to tell when it comes to Stalker if this was intended behavior or if the game ended up breaking, but I'm not really complaining. As I fire my final shot needed to defeat S.T.A.L.K.E.R, I earn the last remaining trophies in the game, Forever Alone for beating the game without a faction, and then the difficulty trophies, See the Clear Sky for beating the game on any difficulty, Mom, I'm Going to the Zone for beating the game on Novice difficulty, Lucky Son of a Gun for beating the game on Stalker difficulty, Stalker with a Scar for beating the game on Veteran or Master difficulty, and the Platinum Trophy, Above the Clear Sky for collecting all trophies in the game. I also get treated to the canonical ending cutscene, where we see S.T.A.L.K.E.R being brainwashed, which sets up the events for Shadow of Chernobyl. Overall, I had a really great time playing STALKER Clear Sky. I was a bit concerned going into the experience because usually it's the most divisive game in the original trilogy, and considered to be the worst by many. Clear Sky is notoriously buggy, but overall for me, my experience was pretty good with the game, barring having quite a few crashes when I would load a saved game, and of course the quest reward for the flash drive early on in the game. Other than that, I would say I had a pretty smooth experience going through the game. Overall, I would definitely recommend giving STALKER a try, especially if you're a fan of first-person shooters, and if you're a PlayStation Plus Extra subscriber, it's currently in the catalog. With all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If there's any games you'd like to see me cover, please let me know in the comments. Also, if you enjoy my videos and would like to make me suffer, please subscribe, as once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll be getting the Platinum Trophy for Wolfenstein 2. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.